Well, welcome to another episode of the Inside Scoop with Robyn, bringing you extraordinary entrepreneurs making a positive impact. And today I have my client, Kaaren Hall, with us. She is the CEO of uDirect IRA Services, and she has just shared some exciting news with me that we're going to share with you, and a little bit about her entrepreneurial journey and two marketing tips that were key to her success. So let's
Mhm.
get started. Hello, Kaaren from Orange County.
Hey, Robyn, how are you doing? Good
Great.
to see you.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Awesome. So, Kaaren, you launched your business when we were in the middle of a recession, and now we're just hopefully coming out of COVID, and you had to navigate through all of that. So, just
hmm
tell us a little bit about how you got started with your business, and then a little bit about where you are today.
Well, when I started my business, it was a lot like it is today for a lot of people, a lot of business owners, and a lot of former employees, where you're forced to change. There's a break, and now you're not doing what you used to do. Well, that's what happened to me in 2009. So I had to sort of reinvent myself, and what am I going to do? So how do I move forward? And the way I moved forward was with self-directed IRAs, long story short. So in 2 months, I put together this company between the time I was terminated from my old employment until I started this company. And that was August 31st, 2009. And now 11 years later, we're just killing it. So it's wonderful. It's been a huge blessing.
That is great. So, she now has $500 million under custody. And just tell us a little bit about the niche that you're in as far as the financial services arena, because it's very different.
Right. Well, this is one thing Robyn taught me. See, when I first met Robyn, I said, "Oh, I have a small financial services company." She's like, "No, don't say that." She says, "Say that what I do is I provide self-directed IRAs that allow you to invest outside of Wall Street to improve your financial future."
Right.
And see, and people remember that. They go, "Oh, invest outside Wall Street, not stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, but alternative assets."
As
And so it really helped clarify what I'm doing and really helps the light bulb go off in people's heads. So thank you.
Absolutely. So things like you can invest your IRA and 401k into real estate, a startup business,
Yes. Oh,
and
notes, performing and non-performing debt, precious metals, crowdfunding, private stock, so many different kinds of things. So it's called the alternative asset class. You can Google it. There are a lot of assets that apply. It's on our website as well, udirectira.com. So it's all there.
right. And another thing that I found out with working with Kaaren was that she's a big educator. She's just a big proponent about educating Americans about what else they can do outside of your traditional investments. And it turns out that she's educated tens of thousands of Americans how to do this, mostly though in person. So, Kaaren, how did you handle that during COVID and lockdown?
Yeah. So Robyn and I, one time we sat down, we count, how many people have you spoken to, Kaaren? And we came up with that. Wow, it really is it's tens of thousands of people that have been the audience. And so during COVID, the answer. It is Zoom, it's Skype, it's, every other kind of form of electronic, let's see you on a webcam kind of a program. But there are other things too. I mean, there's social media, videos, and even I'll tell you what, we even snail mail. So that's the way to get the message across. There's just no lack of ways to get the message across, even if we can't meet in person.
Right. And even with your great branding in the background here, I did not tell her to do that. That's Kaaren has some marketing strategies and just ran with it. So what you're
Yeah,
saying too, I'm hearing you, is that integration is key, making sure that you combine traditional marketing and new media. Digital.
I'm saying that exactly. Now, back when I was in college a few years ago, it was like 5 impressions equal a sale. Well, now you've got so much more competition for the eye and the ear of the consumer. So it's a lot more impressions before people begin to trust your brand, know that you're going to be around, and want to do business with you. So you really have to be aggressive and persistent and tenacious about marketing and making sure that you're out there.
Could you just off the top of your head think what percentage of your time or your company's time would you say goes into the marketing part?
Oh, I'd say 25% of my time personally. I'd say that that's a good 25% of it. And is that true? Yeah, I think that's about true because there are so many other aspects because of course there's managing the company doing our SEO and reviewing, looking at my reports, matching their reports, is what they're telling me, what I'm seeing, that sort of thing. Managing Google AdWords and Microsoft AdWords and all the different electronic sort of media that there are out there. So it's managing the services that I've hired to help my company. There's a lot of that too.
Right. And you also just told me about a Zoom call where you had, 300 people attend last week or the week before?
We did. So this is the thing about COVID, you can't say it's definitely not all bad. So in addition to uDirect IRA Services, I have a real estate investment club, and it's called Orange County Real Estate Investors Association. So for short, we call it OCREA. So OCREA.com. And so normally we would meet at this really nice hotel in Costa Mesa. It's very lovely. And we would have 50, 75, 100 people show up and somebody come to present and teach about real estate investing. Well, since COVID, of course, we backed out of the hotel. We're not there. We're doing our events online. And so last month when we did our OCREA meeting, instead of like 50 to 75 people showing up in person, we had 366 registrations for our event. Now, of course, not everyone shows up for the actual event, yay, but then you can record it and offer the playback. But 366 people, so we're able to reach a wider audience and just gather more interest and then continue to market and share the message and teach. And it's a cycle about education and implementation.
Right, and the fact that you also not only did you increase attendance, but you also lowered your costs because of the in-person physical costs.
Oh, extremely. Yes, of course. When you're renting a place and renting the equipment, and then you've got, of course, we bring in guests. So I buy them dinner, pre-meeting dinner. Then afterwards, we have after dinner drinks. That's the social part of it. And yeah, so we were spending just under $1,000 per month to put on the event, and including marketing and everything. And that now it's about $100.
Oh,
and no one has to drive anywhere, right? No, liability like that. No one's driving, no one's drinking, at least at my event. So,
right.
Yeah, so there are just so many positives for what Zoom and online meetings have done for us as far as marketing and reaching people is concerned.
That's excellent. I mean, just a few weeks ago, not even, you were telling me we were celebrating that you just were hitting the $500 million, and now you are already more than $500 million. So things are
now
going right.
They're heading in the right direction. And, it really is a snowball, because the more people who hear about the ability to self-direct, and a lot of people haven't. A lot of people think their retirement can only be invested in mutual funds or stocks and bonds, and they don't even know they have a choice. They don't know their IRA could buy a house and then the renters would pay their IRA the rent, or that their IRA could lend money and then the borrower pays the IRA back the payment. And that's been the truth since 1975. So probably, Robyn, a lot longer than most of your listeners have been alive. So it's been a long time.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's just so good to know, and you're the person definitely to be calling it. If you have any questions out there, you've got to get a hold of Kaaren Hall for sure. Now, you also have just been acknowledged in the Orange County Business Journal for entrepreneurship excellence and women in finance. Again, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's a notoriety came back to back, and it was such a surprise and an honor. So it's always nice to receive accolades. It was really an up, and just gave a more just a happier spirit to the whole office. We're so proud of what we do here.
Good. It's time that you get acknowledged for that. A while ago, we did a nice PR piece, and I believe that's still that article is still bringing in some business for you, right?
It is. It is. Yeah, we did a PR. What do you call it? A
press release, actually.
A press release. Yeah, PR press release. Yeah, that's what we did. And you're right. So yeah, right. When I look at my analytics, I can still see we're getting hits off of that. So it's great. I can really see how even just having a link out there in the world, backlinks to your site, is very powerful for SEO and for helping people find you and when they're looking for an expert in your field.
Definitely. Well, I promised the audience that we would share 2 very valuable marketing tips. Kaaren and I, as I said, we've been working off and on over the years, and she's going to divulge 2 of my favorites just for you all.
Yes, well, this is what I did when I very first set up the company. And Robyn, this is Robyn's suggestion. She says, the internet is sort of it's a marketplace of free. You know, there's always a giveaway with the internet. The internet's free, you give something away. So I put on a free report on our website so that people who wanted to know more about what we do could read this free report without having to buy a book or anything. So the free report generates a lot of traffic and answers a lot of questions. So it's a great educational piece. And another thing that Robyn suggested that I've been doing, oh my gosh, it's years now, right? Is open an account, get a free book. Now it's not every month. It depends upon when we find a really good book that we want to, that's not selling an investment, but more teaching an investment. So we've got one coming up next month and the month after. When you open an account with us, a new account, we give you this free book. We ship it to you. And so that's just an incentive. It's kind of fun. And it's another way to touch our customer and help educate them so they make better financial decisions.
I love that. And you're all about education. And that's the kind of marketing, is educating and sharing that knowledge.
That's right. And thanks to you, Robyn. Great suggestions.